When we left off, the Raspberry Pi was connected directly to the LAN. So we're going to change this up for our more secure laboratory setting. What I want to do is I want to first protect the Pi from outside interference. So I'm going to hide it behind um, a NATed IP address on this small computer. We'll use this as a jump server. Um, this little laptop will be our jump server into the PC. You have to log in here with credentials, and then from this position log into the Raspberry Pi. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a Ethernet connection and a new Ethernet port RJ45, and we're going to transfer our connection to the LAN over to that uh, RJ45 new Ethernet connection. Uh, Note that now we're attached on the other Ethernet connection on this jump server to this small switch. So we're going to plug our Raspberry Pi into this little switch here. There we go. That was difficult. So we've got the Raspberry Pi connected to this internal lab switch, the lab switch connected to the jump server, and the jump server connected to the LAN. Now then, we're uh, we're going to leave the Raspberry Pi unpowered for now, um, just to illustrate a point. So here we go. Let's head over to uh, our big screen. This is this is a workstation on the LAN. Could be any workstation. There we go. All right, we're in the botfly. So you can see that we've disabled our wireless network connection. Um, this is our new Ethernet adapter that we just plugged in, the little USB 2 adapter. Um, it went ahead and pulled its new IP address and registered itself in DNS. Um, what we have here hooked to the switch, this is what I wanted to show you. It's here. Let me reach over here and unplug it uh, from the switch. It's a better example. There we go. Network cable unplugged. It's because we're using a switch in the lab environment. The Ethernet ports uh, are come up. If the switch is on, the Ethernet port is up. Okay, that's what that amounts to. So that makes things a little bit easier, right? We don't have to go through the hassle of making sure that our everything's turned on as we did with a crossover cable. Now then, now that this local area connection is coming up, we're going to go ahead and do a little sharing here. Okay. All right, our local area connection is up and enabled. Uh, Let's look at its properties. And note that, let's look back up here. Hmm. Note that our unidentified network that our Raspberry Pi is connected to is a public network. Um, Having the Ethernet port that your Raspberry Pi is connected to set to public network could give problems with communication because the Windows firewall rules for the public network are considerably different than the firewall rules for the private network. So we want to go ahead and set this to a private network. If it's not already a private network, we want to set it to a private network so that we can avoid any problems. And we can do that by opening a uh, PowerShell uh, session in administrative mode. So we're going to be an administrator, and we're going to run a command. We're going to run the git command for the net connection profile attribute. And we can see that uh, 2wire63, that interface, that's set to private, but the unidentified network, it's set to public. So we're going to run the set command on those attributes. Right now, it's the network category is set to public. So we're aiming at the attribute name, unidentified network, and we're going to change that to private, and look over here, bam, it's changed to private. So we've avoided any issues. Um, so let's see if we can resolve our Raspberry Pi ping. So we're at an administrative PowerShell session, and from this administrative PowerShell session, um, we're going to enter the command ping raspberrypi.mshome.net, and we have connectivity with our Raspberry Pi. Let's start a PuTTY session. Uh, Load our save session. raspberrypi.mshome.net, open that. Looks like we're logging in as Pi. And let's shut down. Okay, we've closed our PuTTY session. We'll just shut down our PowerShell, shut down our remote session. Well, looks like I'm trying to get over here, but it's hard. Shut down our remote session, and that concludes setting up a fairly secure little um, lab container. Thank you.